Welcome fight for the God. Today we have another video
Hi guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs, and today we've got the prediction preview show for this weekend. Unfortunately, Keane can't be with us today because he's a lemon tart. Only kidding, Keane. Keane, in fairness to him, he's given me his predictions as well, so I have a list of his predictions down here as well. So unfortunately, you have to listen to me for a little while today on my own. Now, first of all, guys, I have to say the midweek results. Keane was leading by 18 points to 13. But now he leads by 19 points to 18. He got 1 point, I got 5, including a correct result for me in terms of Sligo. Correct scoreline, I should say, winning 2-1 against Waterford. So I'm up as arse. 19 for Keane, 18 for Keith. We're just going to get straight into Derry City Cork. That's the first game of this evening and the weekend. Derry City, I think we'll be going into this game feeling they can get a win. A bit buoyant by the fact that, Declan Devine has signed a new contract at the club as well. I was very impressed with Hamill when he came on against Shells. I wouldn't be surprised if he started this game. Cork, have improved in the last few weeks. Brilliant win against Sligo to win 3-0. It's going to be interesting to see, some of the new players. Fenwick, Kit Simpson be playing. Denanga has come through the youths and he's scored some important goals from the last few weeks. So there's a new freshness about Cork with the new signings and that. For me, I'm going for Derry City to win this one. I'm going to go for Derry City 2, Cork City 1. Keane has actually gone 1-1, by the way. I just feel Derry at the Brandywell will feel that they can get a few goals in this game. I think they sat back against Shelbourne in the last game, a game that they sat back after they took the lead, to be honest. When Shelbourne scored, Derry got going again. I think that's a mistake. I think tonight, if they go in front, they won't make the same mistakes. They do have a lot of attacking threat as well. Meche looks decent up front for me. They've obviously got Stephen Mallon, Figueroa as well, and now Hamill. So they look like they've good options there. How they'll play, I'm not exactly sure. Cork City, I believe, are still missing Gareth Morrissey as well, so he's a loss for them. But those new players will inject a bit of life into them, and I think they're going to give Derry a good game. I wouldn't be surprised. Keane went for a 1-1 draw. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a draw either. But looking forward to that game, and Derry to win 2-1 for me. Now, the second game of the evening is at 7:45, where Shamrock Rovers will take on Shelbourne. Shamrock Rovers obviously dropped points last week away to St. Pat's. Pat's defended absolutely brilliantly in that game, concentrated for 90 minutes. Rovers did move the ball well at times, but started to run out of ideas in the last 20 minutes. Shelbourne probably look to do similar to Pat's tonight, but it's very difficult to keep it up for 90 minutes, that level of concentration and that. And if Rovers get an early goal, it'd be difficult for Shelbourne. I do think Rovers will hit back here after dropping their first points of the season last week. It's not bad to draw, though, to be fair, when you drop your first points of the season, especially if you can hit back with a win. I do think they'll hit back with a win here. I've gone for Shamrock Rovers to win this one by 2-0. They were a bit unlucky against Pats as well, and if they score early in that game, there were chances particularly early, you have a different game. I think they might do that today against Shelbourne. I think they'll score in the first half. Difficult to see Shelbourne scoring. I think they'll probably go with Dobbs instead of Kilduff as well, because they look to hit in the counter as well, and Dobbs can stretch the back line a bit better than Kilduff can. I think they'll definitely go with that. They'll sit back. Deegan will try and keep them tight and compact in midfield. They can't go toe-to-toe with Rovers, in my opinion. Rovers will kill you, basically. So I've gone for 2-0 Rovers. I think Keane did go 1-0 Rovers as well, so I could see that as well, to be fair. But, looking forward to that game too. It's another Dublin derby. Now, on Saturday, Bohemians take on St.Patrick in another Dublin derby at Daly Mount Park. Bulls have done very well. They've won all their games since they've been back. Obviously, a fantastic win against Dundalk as well. Ground out a result the last time against Harps as well, I thought. The front three looks dangerous. Wright mightn't get the credit he deserves, but I I think his movement's quite good. Obviously, Grant and Twardick have played very well in general. But something that I think has been a weakness for Bohemians actually was their midfield. And I think in the last number of games since restart, their midfield stepped up. I think Ward and Buckley have upped their performances even more than normal. It'd be interesting to see if Mandrew is back as well, I think. He is back, but will he start? That's going to be an interesting one. Bowls are relatively solid at the back as well. Pats could get at them on the wing, I think. Pats, for their part, obviously the great result in Rovers. I touched on it before in the Rovers report there. They'll be looking to bring that mentality to Dalymount Park against Bowls with a bit more attacking threat. I think Pats are well capable of putting up a performance and getting a result here. Bowls won every game since restart, as I said. I do think they're due to drop some points. Wouldn't be surprised if they win this, it'll be narrow. But personally, I've gone for a 1-1 draw here. I think Pats are capable of going there and putting up a display and getting something out of the game. They've had a bit of a break as well as Bohemians. But they've had that break since the Rovers game, so they put a lot of effort into that. They're able to recuperate and put that effort in again. So obviously Pats have dangerous players that can hurt you as well. And in Georgie Kelly, he's been very impressive in the games since linking up with Stephen O'Donnell at Pats. They've got an outlet up front, so that's key as well. I'm really looking forward to this game. I think it's arguably the game of the weekend. There's another game, which obviously Sligo and Dundalk for other reasons, but I think this is probably the game of the weekend. If Bowls could win this game, they really could push Rovers, I think, and show that they can do it this season. I just have a suspicion Pats are going to nick a point here, guys. Keane himself has gone for a draw as well. He's gone for 0-0. I don't see a 0-0 personally, but he could be right. He could be right. So yeah, that's Bowls and Pats rather at Dalymount Park. Now, touched on Sligo Rovers and Dundalk at the Showgrounds, and if I'm honest with you, yesterday I was thinking Sligo were going to win this game. Vinnie Perth has left Dundalk, as we all know. Reynolds is going to take over for now, and Higgins for this particular game. I think there's been a lot going on at Dundalk behind the scenes. We're not privy to everything that's gone on, but I think it's clear there's stuff going on behind the scenes. There's even rumours that the Dundalk board tried to pick the team for the game the other night, and the manager wasn't having that, which in my opinion is right. The manager shouldn't, you can't have the board trying to pick a team if that's rumour is correct. Sligo were brilliant, I thought, in the second half against Waterford. Excellent performance in the second half. Coughlin, the freeze, really stepped up for them. Their midfield, Donnellan got forward well. Although he wasn't tracked very well, he still done well. Good side, Sligo. Liam Buckley, we all know, plays good football. His teams play good football. They are a good side. And bring that performance to Dundalk, and Dundalk are trouble. I do think that some of the players at Dundalk, I'm not going to use down tools. That's the wrong term, because I don't believe that the players would have said they're not playing as such in their head. But I think in a subconscious level, your effort can come down 5-10%. And if that happens, then you're not the same team. And I think that's happened to Dundalk in the last few weeks for whatever reasons. I do believe that's happened. This might give them a bit of a kick now. You often see it when a manager goes, that some players suddenly do look refreshed and do look right, and they put in a performance. It will be difficult though, because they've had to travel back from Budapest in Hungary for this game, and I do think that it's going to show a bit of difficulty. I expect changes. Like Sloggett might come in, probably Cleary at the back or Boyle. Massey might come in at left back. So there's going to be one or two changes that they can afford to make. The front four, you might bring in Daniel Kelly there as well. I'm not too sure. But for the reasons that Perk got sacked, I'm actually going to go for Dundalk to nick a point here. I don't think they've made a lot of mistakes at the back, and I don't think they're going to be fixed just like that either. So I've gone for 2-2 here. Sligo play good football, and looking forward to this game as well. Sligo 2, Dundalk 2 for me. Keane has gone 1-0 actually for Sligo. This time yesterday I probably would have went Sligo, but I just sensed Dundalk will up it a little bit, and but maybe not enough to win the game. Now, guys, it's Sunday, I believe. It's Sunday, isn't it? 2 o'clock. Yeah, we've Waterford FC, and we have Finn Harps. I'm just sniggering there because I nearly said United. When it's stuck in your head for so long, you sometimes say it. But Waterford FC will take on Finn Harps. Massive game for Finn Harps, in my opinion. Finn Harps are obviously rooted bottom of the league, 4 points. I don't know how they're going to approach this game, to be honest with you. Are they going to defend and hope to nick one on the break, or are they going to go and try and attack Waterford? I suspect Waterford will have a lot of possession of the football. They'll be disappointed in many ways, Waterford, with their draw against Dundalk. Dundalk nearly pinched it at the end. But all in all, for 75 minutes, I thought Waterford were comfortable. And Cobh got sent off. A couple of set pieces and that they couldn't deal with. Obviously, 2 goals set pieces, but they couldn't deal with any of the set pieces in the last 5 minutes or so, could they? They could have conceded another 1 or 2 from a set piece. But Murphy, I hope Murphy's back for Waterford. Talk that he should be back. I'm not so sure personally. Cooch will be back, and he'll add something to midfield as well. Michael O'Connor got off the mark. He'll be happy with that against Sligo. But they'll be disappointed with that defeat in Sligo as well. So a couple of games now in a row that Waterford will be a little disappointed in. They seem to finish poorly in games. They'll need to be ahead against Finn Harps. I don't know why they're finishing so poorly in games. So the more the game went on against Sligo, the more Sligo became dominant as well. So I'm not really sure what the reasons is. Are they tired? I don't know. Do they have the squad? But then again, other teams would have similar squads. It's a difficult one to tell. It could be a mental thing as well. But I think they might pinch this one 1-0. Finn Harps will have to hope Barry McNamee is on his game because they need that creative foil. They have a lot of hard-working players. Connolly in midfield as well. It'd be interesting to see if the new player Doyle plays up front. I don't know. Qataro's been playing there. It's difficult for Qataro at this stage of his career to play up front in his own, in my opinion. He's been working very hard, to be fair to him, but it's a difficult one. They're quite mean at the back, though. Waterford to nick this one, I think, 1-0 for me. I'm just looking at Keane's result here, and I see Keane has also gone 1-0 for Waterford. Now, guys, we're on to the first division, and Athlone Town will face Rovers B. I give up for Rovers B. I was sure they would play Williams and Scales against Bray during the week, and they didn't, basically. I would have went for Bray to win otherwise, because Rovers themselves didn't have a game. You can't tell week to week. I'm going to go Athlone, guys, 1-0 here. I think Athlone have done well the last few weeks, some of their performances and results. They'll be bitterly disappointed, though, with the defeat in UCD. Losing 2-1, 1-0 up and down to 9 men is criminal to throw away a lead in that scenario. Like, you have to look at players there and say someone wasn't putting in the effort, because there's no way you should be conceding goals against a team of 9 men. It's unacceptable completely. I think they'll be fired up for this game. I think they'll put in a serious shift. Rovers have good players, as we know. Even if Scales and Williams don't play, the likes of Aluwu, players like that, Brandon Kavanagh, they're going to be a tough nut to crack. But I am going to go with Athlone to hit back here and put in a serious performance, because they would have got criticism within their own camp during the week, and deservedly so. And I think they'll bring it into this game, nick it 1-0. I see Keane has gone 1-0 the other way to Rovers B. So, interested to see what happens there. Now, Cabinteely will take on UCD at Stradbrook, and this is a very interesting game for me. Superb result for Cabinteely to go to Longford to win 3-1 during the week and extend their lead to 5 points. 6 points, I think, over Longford, but obviously Drogheda won, and they're 5 points ahead of Drogheda now, who are second. They're flying, as I say. They've got good players. Stuart Barnes is in the goals. They've Conor Keeley doing well at the back. They do have a few injuries coming to this game. I just wonder if they're going to start struggling a little bit because of that. UCD, they're Jekyll and Hyde. A lot of very, very young players as usual. A lot of good players, as we said before. You have Whelan and Madej up front who are capable of scoring goals. The likes of Kearney, Keeney, Doyle in midfield, capable of chipping in with goals as well. They'd be delighted with that win against Athlone during the week. A massive, massive, massive win for UCD in the circumstances. I have a feeling they're going to go to Cobh and get a result here. I've gone for Cabinteely 0, UCD 2. I think... I think it could put them in the promotion picture. I think Cobh have had a lot of good results recently. They're almost due a defeat I just think with a few players' injury concerns, it might catch up on them a little bit. So I've gone 2-0 here. Keane has gone 2-0 for Cabinteely, actually. Sorry, I'm going 2-1. That's my mistake. 2-1 UCD. I'll just say that again. 2-1. I'll put it in the edit anyway. But yeah, Keane's gone 2-0 for Cobh, and you can see why he's gone 2-0 for Cobh as well. So it's a difficult one to predict. If Cobh can win this game, they're in a great situation. I know the next 3 or 4 games are tough. They include a game against Drogheda, so it's going to be a big 4 games for Cabinteely, and it's going to be interesting to see how they are by the end of it. So that's Cabinteely and UCD. Now, Faircarrick Park, Wexford will take on Drogheda United. Now, Wexford have been singing their praises. Brian O'Sullivan's been doing an excellent job there compared to last season and bringing in a lot of new players and making them difficult to beat. But the last week or so has been a difficult one for Wexford, beating 2-0 against Rovers B and then losing 4-0 against Cobh Ramblers, which was a terrible result for them. I did go for Cobh to win that game, actually, but 4-0 was a poor result and clearly a poor performance from Wexford. They need to come back fighting in this game. They're playing a very good side who really need to start winning a couple of games on the bounce. Drogheda now, if they're going to try and catch Cobh. Drogheda were a little bit nervy, I think, against Galway, but I think typically, though, because I think it was a game that felt like they just had to win. I did say that before the game with Cobh and Longford playing each other. They just had to get the win. So they were a little bit, I thought they were edgy, actually, Drogheda in that game, to be fair. So they've done well to get the win. Just get the 3 points. It was a night for getting the 3 points, if you get me. Like, performance didn't really matter, and they got the 3 points. They'll need a bit of that here as well. I think Wexford are going to put them under pressure. They are at home as well, so it's not going to be easy for Drogs, but I do think Drogs might pull away here. Their attacking power, very impressive. Brandon Birmingham recently, very silky player. Very good in the air as well. It's a tactic Drogheda use as well. They ping balls down his side an awful lot of the time. He usually has a height on the full back, but it's not just height, he's actually good in the air. So that's an interesting. I'm not sure if Chris Lyons will be available or not. We'll have to see about that. But they've got a lot of options. Mark Doyle and me need to come in. Adi Amo didn't even feature the last day, or Clark. So Hugh Douglas was fantastic at the back the last day as well. He'll probably keep his place. But, Wexford are probably still in the process of gelling as well. But they'll look to hit back here. I have gone for 3-1 Drogheda, to be fair. I just think the firepower Drogheda have will be too much. You see a bit of improvement in their performance, although I do see Wexford improving as well. Keane's gone for 1-1, so obviously he feels that Wexford are going to hit back very well from that defeat to Cobh. But it's certainly an interesting one, guys. Now, guys, on to Galway and Bray. And, it's a difficult week for Galway because I was at the game in United Park where they were beaten 1-0 by Drogheda, and I thought they played quite well. The thing they lacked was a cutting edge. They drew 4 games this season. They haven't won yet, but they haven't been hockeyed or anything like that in any game. They just seem to be lacking a cutting edge. Now, I don't know if that's to do with tactical issues or what, but unfortunately, Alan Murphy did lose his job during the week. And on the back of not a great season, let's be honest, last season, and a big budget. I believe they're the biggest budget in the league, by the way, Galway. To be second bottom, it's not good enough, is it? No matter what way you see it, I'm sure Alan Murphy would agree. It's just not good enough, and sometimes it just doesn't click. Alan Murphy might be pulling his hair out because if Galway win this game, I mean, you just be so frustrated. But I have gone for Galway to win this game. I have a feeling they're going to bounce in this game. I don't know what it is. Bray are in the promotion picture and really will be going into this game needing a draw or a win. A bit apprehensive, I'd say, because Galway lost their manager. I'm going for Galway 1-0 personally. I think they need it badly. I think they're going to grind out a result. They're going to have to keep it tight because they're not going to score many goals, I don't think. They've good players like Vinny Fatterty and Mikey Place, but just not getting enough goals there in the forward positions. Keane also went 1-0 Galway as well, so he might be sharing my sentiment too. So it's going to be an interesting one, but Galway do need this win, and the two of us have gone for Galway. Now, lads, speaking of Cobh Ramblers will take on Longford at home, and Cobh will absolutely be buoyant from that 4-0 win against Wexford. What a result, what a performance. Malloy on the score sheet twice. I think Hurley got one as well. But yeah, brilliant stuff from them. Absolutely fantastic. Longford's results have been up and down. Terrible result at home to Cobh for them in terms of it was an opportunity for them to catch Cobh, and to lose 3-1 would have been very disappointing. They need a few more goals, I have to say. They've got good players like Verdon and Manley in the forward positions. A. Dervin can get a goal from midfield, so they need to start to score a few more goals. They're not scoring the goals they should be scoring. They've better players than that. So, they'll be looking for that. But I do think they'll go here and grind out a result. I think they'll nick it 1-0. It's going to be very difficult. Cobh are not a bad side by any means. Phillips, Hurley, Malloy, lines at the back. So they've got good players, young players as well. A lot of these players are young players as well. But I just think Longford, almost out of necessity, similar to Drogheda when they beat Galway 1-0 during the week. I think this is a game for just getting the result and getting out of there and getting back up to Longford with the 3 points. They need them badly, because if they don't get them, there's a chance UCD or Bray could be pushing up them or even beyond them. So vital to go there and get the win. I think they'll nick it 1-0. Unfortunately, Keane doesn't think, from a Longford point of view, they're going to get the win. He's gone for 1-1, so he was obviously impressed with Cobh and what they did during the week, as am I, of course. But yeah, that's the predictions. So guys, that's about it for this week. Subscribe if you're new, like the video, and hit your bell notification button so you don't miss a video. Also guys, in the comments, leave down your predictions. What you think, either every prediction, Premier Division, First Division, your own team's prediction. I'll leave it there. And guys, have a good weekend and enjoy the football. Take it handy.